Alright guys, so in this video I think it's pretty obvious who won, but I at least gotta start with why the Hulk confronted Sabretooth. And I'll leave a link in the description to the previous videos kind of telling more of a story why James is messed up like this. But with James barely conscious, plus you got Quicksilver and Mystique still on the loose, Karen here with the black hair, aka Jean Grey, knows that they're outmatched and she needs to go and get a bigger gun on their side. And this takes us down to the city shelter where we find Dr. Banner just low-key hiding out as a cook, just thinking that nobody knows who he is. And what I think is pretty cool about this encounter is that they're having this whole conversation through Jean's telepathic connection. And I have my own theory that Jean knew where Banner was kind of this whole time, just keeping him like an ace up her sleeve in case they needed him. And initially with her coming to ask Banner for help, he's like no, because he can't really control the Hulk. But then she's like, don't worry about it, I'll take care of that, meaning that she'll keep him telepathically linked while he's the Hulk so he just won't lose control and lash out. But even after saying that, Banner's like, don't mutants usually take care of mutant problems? And she kind of teases him with the idea, like, how can you be sure that you're not a mutant? And you can tell that this question kind of catches him for a curveball because he immediately changes the subject and wants to know how she found him. Which made me think for a second, was he already thinking that idea was possible? But anyway, after he asked, how did you find me? She's like, well, I'll tell you that and everything you need to know, but I need one little favor from you. And it doesn't take Banner that long to get down to it. So Sabertooth is here at the bar, you know, throwing him back and doesn't even notice the terrified strippers pointing to the door at something crazy going on. Like the whole club's looking that way. And I could kind of understand his frustration and where he's at right here. Like he never got the best of Wolverine and somebody else outed him before he could. And then when he has a chance to out Logan's son, he can't even finish that. So you know at this point he done lost count of how many shots he's taken. He feels this tap on his shoulder and he turns around like, dude, you picked the wrong guy on the wrong night. So now keep in mind, Sabertooth is not a small dude, and if you that big and somebody tap you on the shoulder and they whole finger take up your entire shoulder, then you should kind of reconsider turning around with any kind of attitude whatsoever. But at this point it really doesn't matter because Hulk came to take care of business and nothing's gonna stop him from doing that. Like there is no escape from this ass whooping, and Victor knows that. Matter of fact, it was at this moment Victor knew he had fucked up. And Hulk punches him right out of the shoe, bro. We have established in the comment section of the last video that if you get knocked out of your shoe, bro, the fight's over.
No exceptions.
But jokes aside, I strongly believe that the visual narrative of the shoe missing here is very intentional. Because like with the exception of Wolverine, Sabertooth is always attacking people who are weaker than him, who are smaller than him. That's like a sure shot that he know he's gonna win. That's the only fights he really gets into. And there's been a couple times where he's underestimated people like Storm, where like she kicked this butt without even using her powers. But look at Sabertooth's face here. Like Hulk is denting his face so bad that he can't even say Hulk. Like this is Gray Hulk on top of that. Had he went green in this case, Sabertooth would have went from singular to plural just like Wolverine did. But keep this in mind as well too, that Banner is in total control, mainly because Jean Grey is there with him. And all this bone crushing and brain smashing is all the way Banner doing this, might I say. And keep in mind with the arrangement he has with Jean Grey, that she's helping him have consciousness while he's Hulk. And while she's doing this, he's able to communicate with her through that telepathic link. And he looks up at her and he's like, more? And she responds back like, more. And Hulk is loving every bit of it. So he continues, but as he winds up for the two-hand smash, once again, Sabertooth is snatched up by Quicksilver. And Jean's not having that. She mentally tells him to stop and puts up a wall like right in front of his face while he's running full speed. Now I also want to insert here that the same technology they use with Magneto's helmet to keep Jean and Professor out of their heads, they made that technology a lot smaller, and Quicksilver could have easily had this on here, but he doesn't, and that's the only reason that she's able to stop him in this particular instance. Now Mystique on the other hand, she's not taking hers off for anybody, and this pretty much puts everything at a stalemate. And Quicksilver is just like, hey, tell your people to back down, I'll tell mine to back down, especially that Hulk over there. And even at this point, Mystique got the red dot on Hulk's forehead, and she's like, I got the kill shot. And Hulk's like, nah, you ain't got squat. Because if she was actually to let off a shot, that could probably cause a whole nother can of problems that they don't really want, especially if he goes and turns into Green Hulk. But Quicksilver tries to flip it right here. He's like, you know, we're all mutants, we shouldn't be fighting each other. And immediately Jean's like, tell that to Jimmy Hudson, who was like clearly just mauled by Sabertooth. And he's like, what Victor did was unsanctioned, he was on his own. But then he's like, hey, if Victor had a jaw left, trust me, I would have him apologize. But it's just poetic justice the way that Hulk is getting the payback for Logan's son against Sabertooth. And mind you, all this happened while Jimmy was knocked out. Like when he wakes up, he sees Hulk and he freaks out for a little bit, but you know, everybody shows him that they're all together and that they're all on the same side. But that'll do it for this one. If you're new to the channel, I'll leave a link to where you can see a playlist for the rest of the Ultimates videos. If you guys want me to do more videos on the Ultimates universe, just leave that in the comment section below. Don't forget the giveaway still going on to the 24th, and I'll leave a link below so you guys can enter that if you haven't already. Just a few days left, so good luck to everyone. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and we'll do it again next time, guys. All right, later.